Have you ever felt like your life is standing still? Like you're praying, trying, hoping, but nothing is changing. No breakthrough, no clear sign, just silence. And in that silence, you start questioning everything. Ya Allah, are you listening? But what if this quiet season is not emptiness? What if while you feel stuck, Allah is moving pieces you cannot see? What if the delay you're crying over is the protection you're unaware of? Tonight, we're going to uncover something powerful, because you think nothing is changing, but Allah is moving everything. There are moments in life when everything feels completely still. You wake up each morning with the same questions in your heart. You pray, and you wait, and you try again. But the doors you hoped would open remain closed. The silence feels heavy and confusing, and deep inside you wonder what Allah is doing. You look at others, and it seems like their lives are moving forward. They are achieving and building and celebrating, while you feel like you are standing in one place. This comparison slowly steals at your peace. It makes you feel forgotten or delayed. But Allah does not measure you against anyone else. Sometimes the hardest test is not pain, it is uncertainty. It is not knowing what is coming next. It is walking forward without clear answers. Yet this is where faith becomes real, because faith is strongest when clarity is weakest. You may think nothing is changing, but change does not always make noise. A seed grows in complete darkness, beneath the soil where no one can see, before it breaks through. At the surface, its roots are spreading deep and wide. Allah often works in ways that are hidden. He arranges conversations you have not heard yet. He softens hearts you have not met yet. He blocks paths that would have harmed you. He prepares opportunities you cannot imagine, all while you think nothing is happening. Delay is not punishment. Delay is design. If something comes before you are ready, it can break you instead of bless you. Allah knows the weight of what you are asking for, and He strengthens you before He gives it. There are prayers you made years ago. You cried for them in the night. You begged with sincerity and hope. Then slowly you stopped asking, because you thought the answer was no. But Allah never forgets a sincere dua. Sometimes the answer is not yet. Sometimes the answer is something better. And sometimes the answer is protection. What you call rejection may be mercy. What you call silence may be preparation. Allah sees the full picture that you cannot see. Your heart has grown in this season. Even if your circumstances have not changed, you are more patient than before, more aware of your weaknesses, more careful with your choices. This inner growth is not small. Allah is shaping your character quietly. He is teaching you to rely on Him alone. When people disappoint you, when plans fall apart, when outcomes are unclear, He becomes your only certainty. Trust is not built in comfort. Trust is built in waiting. When you continue to pray without visible results, when you continue to hope without proof, when you continue to obey without reward, that is when Tawakkul becomes real. You may feel unseen by the world, but you are never unseen by Allah. Every tear is recorded. Every silent struggle is known. Every night you turned back to Him matters. Nothing is wasted in His sight. Sometimes Allah removes people from your life, not to hurt you, but to protect you. Sometimes He closes doors, not to stop you, but to redirect you. What feels like loss can be rescue. What feels like emptiness can be space for something better. Think about how many times you were saved from things you once desperately wanted, from paths that looked perfect but would have led to regret. You only understood later that Allah was guarding you. The quiet seasons build resilience. They teach you patience. They teach you humility. They teach you gratitude for small blessings. They teach you that peace does not come from outcomes. It comes from closeness to Allah. When the shift finally happens, it will not feel random. It will feel aligned. Doors will open in ways that make sense. Opportunities will come at the right time, and your heart will be ready to carry them. You will look back at this waiting season and realize it was necessary. It protected you from rushing. It saved you from settling. It strengthened your faith. It deepened your connection with Allah. Nothing in your life is accidental. Not the delays, not the detours, not the disappointments. Everything is part of a greater wisdom, even if you cannot see it. Yet right now, you may feel stuck. But stuck does not mean abandoned. It does not mean forgotten. It does not mean unloved. It means you are in a chapter where Allah is writing quietly. So do not lose hope in the silence. Do not assume nothing is changing. Because beneath the surface, Allah is moving what you cannot see. He is aligning what you cannot imagine. And when the time is right, you will understand that He was moving everything all along. There are seasons in life where everything feels frozen. You wake up with the same thoughts and the same worries. You try to improve and you try to stay strong, but nothing around you seems to move. Days pass and they all start to look the same, and your heart quietly grows tired. You make dua with sincerity. You ask Allah for clarity and relief. You wait for a sign that something is shifting. But the silence stretches longer than you expected, and that silence begins to feel heavy, almost like an unanswered question. You see other people moving forward. They are celebrating milestones. They are achieving dreams. They are stepping into new chapters, while you feel like you are standing still, watching life move without you. Slowly doubt begins to whisper. Maybe you are behind. Maybe you missed your chance. Maybe this is all your life will ever be. These thoughts settle into your chest and make you question your worth. But being still does not mean being forgotten. Feeling delayed does not mean being denied. Just because you cannot see change does not mean change is not happening. Allah does not abandon His servants. Even in their quietest seasons, this stage of feeling stuck is not the end of your story. It is often the hidden beginning, the part where foundations are built, the part where faith is tested, and where unseen movement begins. We often measure progress by what we can see. We look for visible signs and quick results. We expect change to be obvious and loud. But Allah works in ways that are quiet and hidden. His plans unfold beyond human sight, and His wisdom operates beyond our understanding. You may see a closed door, but Allah sees the harm behind it. You may see a delay, but Allah sees the danger it prevented. You may see silence, but Allah sees preparation taking place. There are conversations happening that you do not hear. There are hearts being softened that you have not met. There are paths being redirected without your awareness. Allah arranges details with perfect precision. Every moment is part of a larger design, even when it feels ordinary to you. The unseen is not empty. It is full of divine movement. Just because your eyes cannot detect change does not mean change is absent. Just because your situation looks the same does not mean your destiny is not shifting. A seed grows underground before it rises. Its most important development happens in darkness. Roots spread wide and deep, long before a single leaf appears. If growth were only above the surface, the tree would never stand strong. In the same way, Allah strengthens you quietly. He prepares circumstances carefully. He removes obstacles without announcement. He aligns timing with perfect wisdom. You may think nothing is changing, but in the unseen, Allah is moving everything. One of the hardest feelings to carry is delay. You prayed for something with sincerity. You believed it would come soon. You imagined how life would look once it arrived. But days turned into months, and months turned into years. When something takes longer than expected, the heart begins to feel tired. You start wondering if your dua was rejected. You question whether you are worthy. You ask yourself if you made mistakes, and slowly hope feels weaker, even though your need remains strong. But delay is not denial. Delay is direction. Allah does not withhold out of cruelty. He withholds out of wisdom. He sees what you cannot see, and He protects you from what you do not know. Sometimes you are asking for something that is not yet ready for you, and sometimes you are not yet ready for it. If Allah gave you everything immediately, you might mishandle the blessing or lose it because you were unprepared. There are qualities that must grow first. Patience must deepen. Gratitude must strengthen character. Must mature faith must become firm. Before certain doors can safely open, think about how a building is constructed. The foundation is laid carefully. It takes time and precision. No one celebrates the foundation because it is hidden underground. But without it, the building would collapse. In the same way, Allah builds foundations in you. He strengthens your trust. He refines your intentions. He cleans your heart from unhealthy attachments. He teaches you to rely on Him alone before placing something heavy in your hands. Sometimes the delay is protection. You may desire a person, a job, an opportunity, or a certain outcome, but Allah sees the future impact that you cannot predict. What you call delay today may be the very reason you are saved tomorrow. What you call disappointment may be the barrier that kept you from regret. Allah does not deny without reason. He redirects with purpose. There are blessings that require timing. If they arrive too early, they can distract you. If they arrive too late, you may not appreciate them. But Allah gives at the exact moment. When benefit is greatest, your responsibility is not to control timing. Your responsibility is to remain faithful, to continue making dua, to continue obeying, to continue trusting, even when results are not visible. Every sincere prayer is heard. Every tear is counted. Every moment of patience is recorded. Allah never ignores the one who calls upon Him. He responds in the best way, even if the response looks different than expected. So when you feel delayed, do not assume you are denied. Remind yourself that Allah is wise. Remind yourself that He is merciful. Remind yourself that He sees beyond this moment, and believe that what is meant for you will never miss you. There are changes happening in your life that you cannot see, not because they are small, but because they are happening behind the curtain. Allah does not announce every shift. He does not reveal every detail. He moves quietly with perfect wisdom. While you think nothing is improving, Allah may be removing what would have harmed you. He may be distancing you from the wrong environment, separating you from unhealthy attachments, closing paths that looked attractive but carried hidden consequences. Sometimes protection feels like loss. You lose a person you cared about. You lose an opportunity you wanted. You lose a plan you worked hard for. And it feels painful and confusing, but Allah sees the future you cannot see. There are relationships that would have weakened your faith. There are opportunities that would have drained your peace. There are successes that would have inflated your ego. And Allah, in His mercy, rearranges your life to protect your soul. Even if your heart does not understand immediately, the silent rearrangement is subtle. It happens through small events, a delayed message, a missed meeting, a conversation that shifts direction, tiny moments that seem ordinary but carry divine purpose. You may think a door closed randomly, but Allah knows what was waiting behind it. You may think a delay ruined your plan, but Allah knows what disaster it avoided. His wisdom surrounds every detail, even the ones you overlook. Sometimes Allah changes you instead of your situation. He adjusts your mindset. He softens your heart. He humbles your ego. He increases your awareness, and that internal shift changes everything. The most powerful transformations are often invisible. Before sunrise appears, the sky slowly shifts in darkness. Before a river changes course, the pressure builds silently. Before your life shifts, Allah prepares the ground quietly. You are not stuck. You are being positioned. You are not forgotten. You are being guided. You are not abandoned. You are being rearranged with care. Trust the process. You cannot see. Trust the protection you do not recognize. Trust the wisdom behind every closed door. Because while you feel confused, Allah is aligning pieces perfectly. And when the full picture appears, you will realize nothing was random. Sometimes you keep looking at your life, and you say nothing is different. The same room, the same job, the same routine, the same unanswered prayers. But look deeper. You are not the same person. You do not react the same way anymore. Things that once broke you now only shake you. And that is growth. Last year, you would have panicked. This year, you pause and make dua before you would complain. Now you reflect before you blamed others. Now you examine your own heart. That is not small change. That is transformation. Allah is more concerned with your soul than your situation. Because situations come and go, but your soul is eternal. Your character will meet Allah. Your possessions will not. There are storms you survived that once would have destroyed you. There are disappointments that made you stronger instead of bitter. There are tears that purified your heart instead of hardening it. You may not have the blessing yet, but you have patience. You may not have the outcome yet, but you have trust. You may not have the answer yet, but you have closeness to Allah. And sometimes that closeness is the real gift. Allah grows your faith slowly, like muscles strengthened through resistance. Without challenge, there is no strength. Without waiting, there is no depth. Without uncertainty, there is no real tawakkul. Maybe the external reward is delayed because the internal foundation is still forming. Allah is building stability inside you. So when the blessing comes, it does not shake your balance. It strengthens it. Growth does not always look exciting. Sometimes it looks like restraint. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like walking away from what once felt impossible to leave. You are evolving in ways you cannot measure. Your heart is softer. Your intentions are clearer. Your dependence on people is weaker. Your dependence on Allah is stronger. That is movement. That is change, that is progress. You think nothing is happening because you are watching your circumstances, but Allah is watching your heart, and your heart is becoming ready. And when your heart is ready, your life will follow. There are moments when you wish Allah would simply show you the plan. You want clarity. You want a clear sign. You want to know where this road is leading, because walking without direction, it feels frightening, and uncertainty feels heavy on the heart. But if everything was clear, there would be no need for trust. If every outcome was visible, there would be no space for faith. Trust is not built in full light. It is built in partial vision. It grows when answers are not fully revealed. Think about walking at night. You may not see the entire road, but you can see enough to take the next step. Allah does not always show you the destination. He shows you enough to move forward and asks you to trust Him with the rest. Tawakkul is not passive. It is active surrender. It is doing your part while believing Allah is handling what you cannot control. It is continuing to pray, even when results are delayed. Darkness does not mean absence. It means unseen presence. The sky at night looks empty, yet it is filled with stars. You just cannot see them in daylight. In the same way, Allah's plan surrounds you, even when it feels hidden. Trust deepens when control disappears, when plans fail, when people disappoint, when timing confuses you. That is when you choose to rely on Allah alone, not because it is easy, but because it is true. Sometimes Allah removes clarity so you can attach your heart to Him instead of attaching it to outcomes. He wants you to seek Him more than you seek the result, because closeness to Him is greater than any temporary success. The discomfort of uncertainty is shaping your dependence. It is teaching you humility. It is reminding you that you are not in control, and that realization is not weakness. It is freedom. When you accept that Allah sees what you cannot piece, begins to replace anxiety. You stop trying to force doors. You stop trying to rush time. You begin to breathe again, because you know the one guiding you never makes mistakes. Trust requires darkness, because faith shines brightest there. Anyone can believe when everything makes sense, but the strongest believers are those who remain steady when the path ahead is unclear. So if you are walking through uncertainty, do not assume you are lost. You are being trained in trust, and that trust will carry you further than clear vision ever could. One of the greatest struggles of the heart is accepting timing. You believe you are ready. You believe you have waited long enough. You believe the moment should be now. But Allah knows what you do not know. We measure life in days and months. Allah measures it in wisdom and eternity. You look at the calendar. He looks at your capacity. You look at your desire. He looks at the consequences. If something comes too early, you may mishandle it. You may not value it. You may lose it because you were not prepared. If something comes too late, you may not appreciate its purpose, but Allah gives at the exact moment it benefits you most. There are blessings that require growth first. There are responsibilities that require strength first. There are prayers that require patience first. Allah does not rush the process, because rushed blessings often collapse, but prepared blessings remain stable. Think about how fruit ripens. If picked too early, it is bitter. If left for the right time, it is sweet. The difference is timing, not the fruit itself. In the same way, your blessing needs its right season. Sometimes you think you are ready, but Allah sees hidden weaknesses, hidden fears, hidden immaturity. So He delays not to hurt you, but to strengthen you quietly. When the right moment arrives, everything aligns naturally. Doors open without force. Hearts soften without pressure. Opportunities appear without struggle, and you realize the wait had purpose. You may feel behind right now, but you are not late. You are exactly where Allah has written you to be. Nothing meant for you will miss you, and nothing not meant for you will stay. Allah's timing is never careless. It is never random. It is never cruel. It is precise, perfectly measured, and filled with mercy. One day, you will look back at the delays you once cried over, and you will thank Allah for not giving you what you wanted when you wanted it. Because if it had come earlier, it might have broken you, and if it had come later, you might not have recognized its value, but it came exactly when it was supposed to. So do not fight the clock. Do not compete with timelines. Do not compare your chapter to someone else. Trust that Allah's schedule is more accurate than your expectations. You think you are waiting, but in reality, you are being positioned for a moment that is already written. And when it arrives, you will see that every second mattered. Not every test comes with chaos. Not every trial comes with visible struggle. Sometimes the real test is stillness, when nothing dramatic is happening, when there is no crisis but also no breakthrough. Stillness can feel uncomfortable because we are used to movement. We feel productive when things are changing. We feel hopeful when doors are opening. But when life becomes quiet, we start questioning our direction. Can you stay obedient when there is no visible reward? Can you continue praying when the answer feels delayed? Can you remain consistent when motivation fades? This is the hidden examination, not of your effort, but of your sincerity. Are you worshiping Allah only when life improves? Or even when it stays the same? Stillness exposes intention. It reveals why you truly obey. If your faith depends on results, it will shake during waiting. But if your faith depends on Allah, it will remain steady. There are days when nothing changes outside, but inside you are being refined. Your patience stretches. Your ego softens. Your reliance deepens. Your expectations become healthier. Stillness teaches you contentment. It teaches you to find peace in routine, to find gratitude in small blessings, to find meaning in ordinary days. Because not every gift arrives with excitement. Sometimes the blessing is stability. No crisis, no disaster, no major loss. Just quiet protection and unnoticed mercy. When you survive a season calmly, without losing faith, without turning bitter, without abandoning prayer, that is success. Even if the world does not see it, Allah watches how you behave in quiet seasons. Do you drift away, or do you draw closer? Do you complain, or do you reflect? The test of stillness is subtle, but powerful. It trains your heart to rely on Allah, not on constant change, not on constant excitement, but on steady trust. You may think nothing is happening because life feels slow, but your consistency, your quiet obedience, your unseen patience are being recorded. And Allah never wastes a servant who remains faithful. In the calm, just as much as in the storm, there will come a day when the stillness suddenly breaks, not with noise but with clarity, not with chaos but with alignment. The door that stayed closed for years will open without struggle. The opportunity you thought was gone will return in a better form. the peace you were searching for, will settle gently in your heart, and you will sit there almost in disbelief because the shift will feel natural, as if it was always meant to happen this way, as if every delay had been guiding you here without you realizing it. What once confused you will start to make sense. The rejection, the heartbreak, the missed chances, the silent seasons, they will no longer feel random. You will see how Allah protected you from people who would have drained you, from paths that would have distracted you, from success that would have harmed your soul. You will understand that mercy does not always look soft. The version of you standing in that moment will not be the same person who once begged. You will be stronger, more grounded, more grateful, more aware of Allah. If the blessing had arrived earlier, you might have ruined it. If it had come during your impatience, you might not have valued it. But now your heart is ready. When the shift comes, it will not feel rushed. It will feel earned, not earned by perfection, but earned by patience, by trust, by consistency. And you will look back at the nights you cried, at the prayers you whispered, at the moments you almost gave up, and you will realize Allah was never distant. He was building something steady. He was aligning pieces carefully. He was preparing you quietly for a chapter that required strength, not desperation. The shift does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it begins with a small change, a new perspective, a calm heart, a single opportunity that leads to many others. But when it unfolds, you will see the pattern. You will recognize the wisdom. You will feel the mercy, and you will say, Alhamdulillah for the wait, because in that moment you will understand that nothing was frozen, nothing was wasted, nothing was random. You thought nothing was changing, but Allah was moving everything, step by step, detail by detail, until the right time arrived.